Good morning, everyone. Welcome to WION Breakfast. Time now is 8 o'clock here in New Delhi. I'm Archit Seshadri. Thanks for watching us this morning.
And I am Charu Shankar, and you are, of course, watching WION Breakfast. Time now to look at the heads up this morning.
All right, today on the program, we bring you a story of a Japanese former chemist who's been on a mission to make the best French wine.
We also have one happy story coming out of Aleppo. Aleppo's soap maker who is doing very well in Paris.
All right, moving right along, we get you the story of a Gambian wrestler who drowned in the Mediterranean trying to cross from Libya to Italy.
And this week, as you know, we have Anchal Hunts to help you keep fit with her Suma mantra.
I'm sure it's going to be lots of excitement, lots to bring to you, and it's hard to believe just a few days away until the end of the year, Chara. Where did the year go?
Time flies. Time really does fly. Well, we have a lot of memorable moments from 2016, as I'm sure we all do.
Absolutely.
So here's what the people on the street had to say. Here's a report from London about the most memorable moments of 2016.
Well, that would have to be Brexit. I think which was most significant for me was how little aware the politicians and the media were of how the average person in the street really felt about it.
I would say the election of Donald Trump, I think it's unprecedented that somebody with so little experience and the ability to tell quite a lot of lies actually can be elected to such a high and important office. I think the next few years are going to be very interesting with him as president.
For me, the surprise is how much everybody, the man in the street, has become involved in politics following the both shock elections of Brexit and Trump, and how little we knew about politics beforehand, and how now we're all experts.
All right, certainly a memorable year for many from the world of politics, of course, you know, with Brexit and the U.S. elections. And on a lighter note, lots going on. Charu, what about for you? How was 2016? I've seen posts on social media. People aren't loving the year, but what about for you?
Yes, loving and hating it. I mean, we have people can't wait for this year to get over. Well, on a personal front, for me, 2016 was a year of wonderful achievements for my little son. You know, he learned how to speak.
Wonderful.
He learned how to walk.
Right.
And a whole bunch of stuff happened in 2016.
You're going to always remember that.
Yes, and you know what? The good thing is that for these millennial babies, you know, their entire childhood, babyhood, everything is recorded.
Documented, right?
Yes, we actually have videos and photographs of every single tiny achievement of their lives so far.
You look back and be like, oh my God, I'm glad my mom captured all those
We're going to
moments
have wonderful photo albums to share with him when he's older, and maybe we'll get to embarrass him a little bit.
I'm sure. You've got to get those embarrassing moments too, right?
We're like, oh my God, my mom and dad kept records of everything. What about you, Arshid? What was most memorable about 2016?
For me, I would say this was a great year. I don't think it was, you know, like every year there's goods and bads, but for me, I moved to India, which I think was a huge excitement, you know, to pack my bags and leave my family. Not to leave my family, but start a new journey. So my family is in the U.S., so but to come and join the WION family, that was wonderful to be part of this amazing organization and a startup news culture. I mean, how often do you get to go and do international journalism? So we get to have fun at work every day.
Wow, and is this the first time you're actually getting to live in New Delhi?
First time in New Delhi, yes. So I grew up in India when I was young, but New Delhi, love it. It's beautiful. Still haven't tried everything. Of course, the food, you know, where we're getting at. But we got 2017 for that, right?
Well, food. The festivities are, of course, continuing, even though it's just a few days left for the new year. It's year end and the world is in celebration mode. And so let's give you a small package of Hanukkah celebrations from Berlin.
וקדשנו במצוותיו, וציוונו להדליק נר. תיכון בתפילת
Lass uns bringen der Licht von Berlin in die ganze Welt. Happy Hanukkah und frohes neues Jahr.
Certainly nice to see that change in mood there in Berlin, certainly after what happened with that Christmas attack not too long ago, right?
Yes.
But Hanukkah, you know, it's a celebration for many people who are Jewish. And around this time of the year, we see a lot of festivals. You know, there's Christmas, of course, Kwanzaa and Hanukkah. And Hanukkah is an 8-day festival of light celebrated with the lighting of the menorah. We saw that the candle. So in a weird way, it's very similar to kind of like our Navratri in India, where it's like a festival that's leading up to you know, something, a bigger
festival.
event.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So nice to see all the world cultures, and especially around this time of the year, the festive season, where there's a lot of foods and, of course, drinks.
Of course, wine. Well, 2016 has been quite a memorable year for winemakers.
Absolutely.
We recently did a story on WION Breakfast about growing wine on the New York rooftops.
Oh, wow.
And there's a whole lot of experimentation being done with wine. And today, we bring you a story from Japan, where a former chemist from Japan has been on a quest to make the very best and the most natural French wine possible in Japan.
Let's take a look at the story.
On Hiratake Ova's 7.5-acre vineyard, everything is done by hand, from planting vines to clearing brush to harvesting the Syrah grapes. The steep slopes make it impossible to use machines.
It takes a lot of energy. It's really physical because it's all by hand, so people who work the vineyard have to be really passionate about wine. That's why I chose to come here, even though the work is hard.
The Japanese expat was 20 years old when he fell in love with wine. Ova dropped his chemistry studies and then had to choose whether to learn winemaking in France or California.
I said to myself, Americans learned winemaking from the French, so I might as well go directly to France, even though I didn't speak French. Plus, in France, you have the beautiful countryside, and the great wines are already there. So much history, so that's why I came here.
Breaking into this historic French tradition isn't easy, especially since Ova has chosen to produce a wine with as little reliance on machines and pesticides as possible. Letting nature take the lead is a technique he learned from winemaking master Thierry Allemand.
It means letting everything grow. The balance needs to come from nature itself, so it's a different approach. The difficulty comes from other people. Other people don't really understand why we would work this way. In France, not working a vineyard means you're lazy. It's seen as laziness. It's not seen as having another idea of how to do things.
Many of the 30,000 bottles Ova produces each year are sold in Japan, where natural wines are in high demand. He hopes to return there one day to cultivate a vintage on his native soil, but for now, Ova remains firmly planted in France, jumping into each harvest with both feet.
Wow, well, winemaking there from Japan and going like totally natural with the whole process.
Absolutely. No one's whining there.
No one's whining.
Excuse our corny jokes in the morning, but you know, we got to keep it fun around here. But
Okay,
I
then,
understand you like your
Archie.
wines. What are your favorite wines, Charu?
Oh, well, I'm not such a wine connoisseur.
Not
I
there,
just
but
like my
just
wines.
Like it, enjoying it. Okay.
I
all right.
just
But
enjoy
I'll take
drinking
any
it.
of them. I won't be that picky.
Yeah, I'm also not very picky. It's like you hand me a glass and I'll be happy.
But you looked really fun to go and, you know, stomp the grapes, and you know,
That is
was
one
really
thing
fun,
I would
yeah.
love to do. You know, they actually organize these tours,
Right.
And you can go there and you can like make your own
Make your own
wine,
wine. Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
stand in the tub and do
It's like
some
an interactive,
squishy grapes thing.
Yeah,
so much fun. It just looks like
maybe
a lot
Napa
of fun.
Valley, another bucket list place for you to add to Paris and Rome, right?
Well, I did go to Adelaide in Australia.
Oh,
where
wonderful!
They make fantastic wine, and the vineyards are amazing.
Amazing, right? Yeah.
And we got to do some wine tasting as well,
Okay.
but not the wine making. That is one thing I would love to do.
I did one in Bangalore not too long ago, so we got to go tour it out and see how it's like bottled and how they make it. And you know, very interesting to see the behind the scenes process before it's actually out in the stores. But you know, it was fun. We didn't get any free samples though. Actually, no, we did a little bit, just a couple of free samples, but we didn't get the bottle.
Just a few. How sad! How sad.
We got the cheese though.
Well, speaking of wine, I mean, you can't. Even the winemaking is moving out of France.
Right.
You know, we can't. I mean, French wines
it's
are
French.
still
It's
like,
authentic. People love the French food. They love the French drinks, and people, including Satyashri Gantam,
yes,
who
I
was
was
there.
just going to say that France always reminds us of Satya, who is our anchor missing in action, but not for long, because as soon as you're back from the break, we're going to hear straight from Satya, who is in Paris. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. You are of course watching WION Breakfast, and now taking you across to some of our world stories. Well, a collateral victim of the Syrian war is soap from Aleppo, and it has now found a sanctuary far from the ruined city, whose elegant souks, many now reduced to rubble, have made the coveted green bars for centuries.
Yeah, in an industrial zone on the outskirts of Paris, a Syrian master soap maker is still continuing the tradition, mixing up olive oil and laurel oil with water and lye to produce a moisturizing natural cleanser that has won devotees around the world. Let's take a look at the soap making.
Checking on his concoctions, Hassan is a master soap maker from Syria. But after fleeing fierce fighting in Aleppo, he's now set up a small factory in a Paris suburb.
Now we are doing traditional sabun ghar, that is laurel soap, which is made mainly of water, sodium hydroxide, olive oil and laurel oil.
This is the crucial moment of saponification, when the mixture is turned into soap. Some 50 factories used to produce Aleppo's deeply moisturizing natural cleanser, which won devotees around the world. But Hassan's family business, like most others, was forced to close by a war that has killed 310,000 people and displaced half the Syrian population.
The situation in our country is very bad, so we cannot go to our factory because because of shelling and kidnapping.
Hassan was tempted into restarting the business by a former client, Samir, a Franco-Syrian doctor. Together they opened a small factory that today employs 15 people and produces 9,000 units a week of Aleppo soap made in France.
When a major French chef opens a big French restaurant in New York, what he does is French cuisine, not New York cuisine. It's the same thing for soap. It's made by the master, Harastani, the great Syrian master soap maker. So it's real Aleppo soap.
The mixing, dosing, pouring, cutting and drying, all methods passed from father to son for the past 3,000 years. And while the city lies in ruins, Aleppo soap, now made in France, is at least keeping this ancestral tradition alive.
All right, a lot of fun soap stories. You know, Charo, I have a funny story to share with you guys. This is kind of an embarrassing moment, but I feel like it's appropriate for the breakfast show. When I was little in Germany, you know, we saw these little, you know, those little soap things that you see like hearts and different shapes. So we went there and I really wanted to have it, and I ate it thinking it was chocolate. And, you know, realized that, you know, that was not a clean bill of health.
Why is this a breakfast story? Why? Why would you think this goes well with people's breakfast?
Don't know. So don't eat soap if you're out, because they're meant to use on your skin.
All right, I think we've had enough of this madness. Okay, we need Satya back. We do. We're missing her so much. So what is she up to in Paris? Well, let's take a look at some of these great moments that people have to share from the streets of Paris.
Bonjour, Charu and Archit. It's that time of the year when we look back at the year to see what was it that made our life count? Well, in 2016, the best thing that happened to me was to meet you, Charu, and you, Archit. Thanks for being around. And I walked around the streets of Paris to ask the Parisians about the highlight of 2016 for them, and here's what they had to say.
The best thing that happened to me in 2016 would probably be finishing my first year of high school, because I made lots of new friends and learnt lots of new things.
The best thing that's happened to me this year is probably coming to Europe to spend Christmas with my grandma and my grandpa.
For me, the best thing in this 2016 was got my promotion in my job, because it's one of the thing that I was waiting for a while, and it's a big achievement for me and for my career, and now I'm celebrating here in Paris.
Things that made me happy in 2016 was that I'm happy to be a woman. That is something that I was not sure about it. Now I am.
The best thing that's happened to me in 2016 is seeing out the year everyone happy and healthy and being able to celebrate important events and time with family.
Definitely this trip. I'm from Costa Rica and I'm here in Paris, traveling all around Europe. So it's really fun. I've met a lot of people, and I think that that's the best thing in this year.
All right, lots of fun adventures there by Satya, enjoying, her time in Paris. And of course, even we're putting her to work. I kind of feel bad, but she's a trooper.
She is. She really
interviews.
is. And lots of happy faces there in Paris. And if you have your most memorable moments and you would like to share them with us, your most memorable moments from 2016, tweet to us at WION Breakfast, write to us on Facebook, tweet to Archit Shashadri and to me, and we'd love to hear from you.
And while you're at it, you can also check out all of the clips and things. In case you missed it, you want to see it at work, or you want to share it with friends and family, go to our website, wionews.com, and we even have an app as well as the My Story app. I don't know if you guys know about this, but you can actually take your phone, shoot pictures and video, and send it right to us, and you might see it on WION Breakfast or any of our news broadcasts. So moving right along now to bring you stories from Africa this time. For the people in Uganda, they are hoping that a new solar plant, which started last week, will sort of help them out with all of their electricity problems.
That's right. The $19 million, 33-acre solar plant, the first of its kind in East Africa, can produce 10 megawatts of power that is fed into Uganda's national power grid. Take a look.
33 acres of solar panels in eastern Uganda have started transforming sunshine into much-needed power. This $19 million solar power plant has been developed by investors based in Dubai and France, with funding from Europe. It's the biggest in the region.
So the power output of this plant is 10 megawatts. This is enough power to power up to 40,000 families, schools, small businesses and users.
Neighboring Soroti town has power lines on streets, but blackouts happen almost every week. Shopkeepers face the biggest losses, forced to throw away food due to the unpredictable cuts.
Unfortunately, when power is not there for like 6 hours, that is automatically a loss we're expecting. Because perishable goods cannot stay out of fridge for a long time, like the minced meat, sausages, ice cream, when they melt, that is a loss automatically.
Kenneth Evans-Akim runs a DVD shop in town. He relies on batteries during the blackouts, but he's optimistic about the new plant.
Power supply in the country nationwide is not sufficient. So if this new solar plant has come in to, I would say, back up or top up on the power, then I think it's going to be of too much help. It's going to help cover up the gaps of power blackouts that have been there.
As night sets in Soroti, most of the streets remain dark. Only 20% of Ugandans have the power from the grid. Uganda's national plan aims to connect the remaining 80% in the next 10 to 15 years.
All right, time now for a quick short break here on WION Breakfast. Much more stories to bring to you from around the globe. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. This is WION Breakfast. Thanks so much for watching us. Time now is 8:30 in the morning.
That's right, and it's time now to take a look at what's making the headlines this morning. Turkey and Russia agree on a nationwide Syria ceasefire.
U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry offers a peace deal framework between Israelis and Palestinians. Israel's Prime Minister calls Kerry's speech a deep disappointment.
And India is likely to enter the elite nuclear suppliers group. Draft proposing acceptance of new members paves way for New Delhi's entry.
Controversy in the sports world, where the Commonwealth Games scam tainted Suresh Kalmadi bows to pressure and declines to accept the post of honorary life president for the Indian Olympics Association.
Possession of more than 10 scrap notes will be considered as a crime, says the Union Cabinet, as it approves promulgation of an ordinance in this regard. All right. Well, those were the headlines for this hour, but it's time now for Archit and me to pick up our newspapers and read a little bit more between the lines.
Let's do it. All right, so lots happening this morning. So I picked up a really interesting story. I was checking it out, and this one is in the Indian Express. It is about an artist. So when we think about artists, you think about your canvas, you think about murals, so many different ways to express your artwork. But this artist, her name is Aditi Agarwal. So she's giving her imagination, letting her wings to fly, using feathers to paint different landscapes and themes. A very unique perspective.
Wow.
Think about the space, a feather. And
so the feather is her canvas.
that is her canvas, and it's sometimes single, sometimes it's like multitude of feathers. So it's like, there you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's like the whole.
God, look at that.
Very beautiful. So
that
that's
is really gorgeous.
Very creative, and think about the intricacies with that, right? So how difficult, because that's such a soft piece of even softer than a cloth, I would say, right? So how difficult to get those precision points, but a very artistic. She's painted everything from birds, animals, Mona Lisa. A lot of breathtaking scenes, and she likes using broken feathers of birds with her creativity. So these are just inspiring her art form. So very interesting article this morning.
And very beautiful. I mean, look at the precision of you can literally see the feathers on every bird.
Exactly, and
painted on those
flowers. Look at the little how much detail she's put into her artwork, and I like that it's a. It can stand alone, but it's nice as an ensemble piece as well. So.
Yes.
All right.
Wow, that is a great story.
Absolutely.
Is she exhibiting anytime soon?
I haven't checked that out, but I think the Indian Express may have a little bit more. I just was drawn by the.
By this image, I mean,
so many
can
pictures,
imagine,
and I was like, wow, so much different levels. Also, like people, landscape pictures. The Mona Lisa. I can't imagine doing that on a feather, let alone the canvas. You have more space to work, but a feather with the texture. So I'm sure there'll be somewhere up for display, but check that out in the Indian Express.
That sounds very interesting.
What do you have
I'm
for us
definitely going to go back to that article. I have another article about sci-fi.
You love your sci-fi, right?
I love my sci-fi. It's just coming at me these days. So this is an article from the Times of India.
All right.
And it says, "Hello aliens."
Ooh.
A new listening device is in the works. A major program to speak to aliens has been launched. And this is despite warnings that it could lead to the destruction of humanity. And this is
scary there, right?
Look at that. Okay, this is not sci-fi. This is like real stuff. It's called METI, and it stands for Messaging Extraterrestrial Intelligence. And from 2018, it'll send out signals into space so that extraterrestrials can pick them up.
Okay.
And the idea is to allow humanity to get in touch with aliens rather than wait for them to arrive.
That's the question. I feel like humans are always wondering what else is out there. Right? You see the movies, and people want to know, is there life beyond planet Earth? And if there is, are they harmful? Are they friendly? What are they?
Are you a believer, Arshit?
That's a good question. It's kind of like the whole ghost thing. I don't know if I'm not a not believer, but I'm not a believer. I don't know yet. It's one of those, I think it's, if I see it, I'll believe it, but I don't know yet. It's hard for me to.
And I don't know. I mean, I find it hard to believe that there isn't life outside of the Earth, right?
But I feel like they should have found us by
universe
now.
is huge. I mean, we're just literally a tiny dot in this entire spectrum of creation.
Right?
Yeah. So, I mean, if it can happen here on this planet, why is it not going to happen anywhere else in this massive universe, which is ever expanding?
But I always wonder
and changing.
why are they not? We've been around for a while, obviously. So, you know, but if it hasn't happened by now, will it happen? Is my whole contradiction to it. You know, if there were aliens in other, you know, or they may be more primitive. So maybe we're the more advanced species out there in the universe.
Well, there are plenty of people on Earth who believe that it's already happened.
True.
And that we are very much in communication with them. But do you want to know what Stephen Hawking has to say about this?
Sure, let's
So
do
he
it.
says that doing so, by which he means contacting aliens, it would probably be like when the Native Americans first met Christopher Columbus.
Oh.
And in that case, things didn't turn out so well for the people being visited.
Right.
So Stephen Hawking has warned us that sending out such messages could be dangerous, and alerting aliens to our existence might actually lead to our destruction.
Well, it's not good news, but hopefully that's just his belief. You know, we hope it doesn't come true. But I was going to say, on that contrary, when all of that happened, you know, the U.S. celebrates Thanksgiving. So maybe if we meet the aliens, there'll be another holiday that we meet. It's like the day that we met the aliens. So always glass half full. You know, doesn't have to be bad.
That's so sweet. Ah, another holiday to look forward to. Let's do it.
Alien Day.
Alien Day.
All right, well, here's my favorite topic, as you can imagine, that no points for what it is.
Food.
Of course,
yes,
of course.
I knew it.
The Hindu has a really cool read. I was checking in the lifestyle section about the 2016 hottest food trends of the year. So let me read you a couple of them.
Okay.
So this is all over India, which I thought was very interesting. So it's not just in Delhi, but all around the country. So there's the global food trials in Chennai, which I thought was very, very neat. So they had a big platter of different cuisines from around the world.
Oh,
and there it is. Oh, look at that. Yum, yum, yum.
Wow.
And, you know, this looks like this is what do you call it? It's Ethiopian food. It's like the injera, where they have like a big platter, and it's almost like our dosas. So they put a lot of the sabjis or their vegetables on that, and you eat it. The dosa is a little bit colder. They call it injera.
Okay.
But doesn't that look delicious? Just giving it international
really
flavor.
It looks brilliant.
Very brilliant. So, and then in Bengaluru, there is an experimental plate. They have lots of different things that you can try, like fusion foods, where it's taking cuisines but just presenting them in a different way, which I think it's always exciting for the taste buds to just see it in a different light.
Yeah.
And even that's an art form, to see how creative a chef can present his or her food.
Yeah, sure.
So there's that, and then in of course in Trivandrum or Thiruvananthapuram, there is a Malabar explosion. So lots of non-veg cuisines. Malabar explosion for foodies. Lots of different dum biryani, lots of other stuff infused with that culture there from that coast. So I think it's nice to see that food lovers, lots of different trends this year happening. So if you are visiting any of these places, you may want to read up on this, so you can go out and check out those local cuisines.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Sounds really good. Okay, time for me now.
All right,
my
what do you
article
have?
is from the Mint,
Okay.
and it's about my favorite topic.
Fitness.
Yeah, that's right.
You know who the healthier one is here, right?
I mean, I try to be. Like,
try
I
to
think
be,
my dire resolution for 2017 is definitely get back to fitness. Get back to fitness. And I've
You are what you eat, you are what you do.
Yeah, and it's just something that's been on my list for a while, and and I think it's time. 2017 is time I get back to fitness. So, this is a really interesting series actually that the Mint carries out on their +1 page, and it says take a break, exercise in office.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes.
So does that mean we've already been doing that on our show? We've been doing a little bit during the breaks.
We've been doing our Zumba.
Zumba, right?
Yeah, but
what type of?
But this is like real stuff, like stuff that you can do while you're sitting in office. So you can use your chair and you can do air squats, which is very simple.
Right.
You just stand in front of your chair and bend down, touch your chair down, and then stand up again. And you repeat that 15 times.
Right.
Now, in terms of time, like a lot of people come to me and say they're like, when I was a trainer, they would come to me and they say, we don't have the time to do fitness. We're so busy. We're at our workplace all the time, and then we're driving, and then we're at home, and we have children, and then we're so exhausted by the end of the day
Running around like a
that it just doesn't happen.
Right.
Now, what I used to always tell them is that, you never have time, you make time.
You make time, yeah.
And this is literally like 30 seconds to a minute is
Everybody's
all
got a
it
minute.
would take. And squats is such a great compound exercise for the lower body. I mean, it
Right.
includes all the muscles in your legs, all the muscles in your pelvic area, your core area, everything pulls in for you to be able to sit down and get up.
Right.
And the thing that we don't realize is that when we spend long hours in the office just sitting in our
Sitting down,
chairs,
you're stuck
you
there,
know,
yeah, yeah.
some of your muscles just become shorter and shorter over
Right,
time, and they become
right,
contracted, and that's
right.
what starts causing stuff like back pain,
Sure.
stuff like these weird achilles
Illnesses
pains,
because you're not stretching your
diseases.
body. You're
Yeah.
not doing. It's almost like what they say on the plane, right? When you're on a plane, don't just sit there because in that tight space, walk up and down.
Walk up
all
and
those
down,
little
yes.
exercises you can do. But I mean, the same goes to the
Same thing
workplace.
goes for your workplace. If you're sitting in front of a computer, just simple things, like move your shoulders up and down,
Sure.
just rotate your wrists.
Even take the stairs. Don't take the elevator. Take the stairs, and that's a little bit. Whatever little
There
you
you
can
go.
do helps out.
There you go.
All
Our
right.
producers already started to do that. Rishabh is now
love it.
only taking the stairs up to the
I
third
love
floor
it.
and back.
I love it. Good stuff. Good stuff. So I'm
Small
gonna get some
things
more
make
tricks.
a big difference.
They definitely do.
Well, speaking of fitness, we do have more for you. And of course, we have Zumba by Anchal Hans. But that's coming up right after this short break. So stay tuned with us on WION Breakfast.
All right, welcome back to WION Breakfast. Time now for your favorite segment in the morning. It is WION Stretch. We are going to show you a little bit of fun ways to get up, get moving, and shut off some of those calories, right?
Absolutely. Anchal Hans has the perfect solution if you've been binging on your festivities and all the food, which we know we have, and I'm sure you have as well. So watch this and follow us.
Good morning, I'm Anchal Hans. Welcome back. Today we're going to do a salsa track, so all you have to do is get your salsa mode on and have a smile, as I say.
Arriba y deja que
Well, I'm sure that you caught some of those moves. Archit certainly did.
We certainly tried.
During
I don't know
the break, we were like...
We're doing everything, right? But I don't think we're doing it right because we're sitting. I think we need to...
Yes.
One day this week, maybe tomorrow, we'll get up and actually try doing some Zumba. So
Let's
Anshul will be happy, right?
I think this is a good plan. Anshul will be very proud of us.
She'll be very proud of us.
She'll
Because
be
right now we're doing like half Zumba. We're not doing the full version. We're wrestling with it.
We're wrestling with it. Well, speaking of wrestling, Dangal, of course, is the movie which is really making huge waves here in India and smashing the notions of patriarchy with its women wrestlers.
Absolutely. And, Amir Khan has done a phenomenal job with that body transformation. We don't hear a lot about wrestling in sports, especially in the world. You think about the Japanese sumo wrestlers, but it's a trend that's catching up, not just in India and Asia, but even in countries outside of here, like Africa, where in Gambia, there's a lot of inspirational stories when it comes to wrestling. Where that generation is looking to make a difference. Let's check out this inspiring story.
Gambian wrestling. It's a hard fight, but thousands of mostly young men here have been facing a different kind of struggle, attempting the perilous journey to Europe in search of a new life. Mille Franc, who belonged to this wrestling team, drowned in the Mediterranean trying to cross from Libya to Italy.
This one is river. You don't have anywhere to catch. Okay, in wrestling, if they hit you, you know that it's serious, you can run. But in the river, you cannot run there.
To fans, he was known by his wrestling name, Mille Franc, 1,000 francs. But he grew up in this neighborhood as Ali Mbengu and worked as a tailor.
He was a good guy, clean-hearted, and a nice friend to meet with.
He went to Libya because of he wanted to help his parents, his parent Anmora, and his brothers.
He was just one of the almost 5,000 economic migrants and refugees to drown trying to cross the Med so far this year. His departure was a surprise to friends and family. His death at the age of 22, a devastating shock.
Where I'm standing here talking to you, I still did not believe that he is gone.
Allah has taken him, but we haven't forgotten him.
Gambling with your life, say the community, is not worth the risk.
I don't advise them to go because it's not easy. Before you get money, you get your life.
The opposition election win gave people something to cheer about, amid hopes it could help stem the exodus of young people as they look to a brighter future at home. But President Yahya Jammeh is now contesting his defeat. Politics isn't always a clean fight.
All right, time now for our fun segment of the morning. It is time to social media, everybody, right?
That's right. On Twitter, the hashtag that we've selected today is my 5-word success story.
That's right.
5 words. You have to be super...
That's hard, actually. 5 words is hard to have a success story in 5 words.
Really,
right?
concise it down.
All right, let's take a look.
My 5-word success story. Let's see what the Twitteratis have to say.
Yep. All right. Stephanie says, failure did not define me. Very nice.
Very nice.
You learn from your failures to succeed.
All right. Well, Daisy says, accept change and keep evolving. Wow.
Nice.
That's very, very
That's actually really hard. I hate change, personally. I don't like change, but that's a good piece of
for
advice.
someone who moved from
I know,
the
right?
US
Ironic,
area
right?
and
all right. Oh, this is really funny. Melissa says, those pants fit me again.
But that is a success story. Oh my God, Melissa, I hear you, girl.
Good job.
I do, I hear you. All right, Spatula City says, learned how to count.
There's only 4 words though, spatula. Wrong
spatula.
Ingredients there.
Yeah, not your succeast story.
Maybe she's counting the full
No.
stop at the end.
Really? Okay.
Oh my God.
Weirdo tweet says, got a match on Tinder.
Swipe right.
That's his 5-word
That's
success story.
really funny.
Well done. Good for you. Good for you.
Todd says, discovered who let dogs out. Who?
Well, good to know. Good to know that you have the answer to that eternal question. All right. Abdur says, became a millionaire. ... in Monopoly.
Nice. Not bad. Not bad.
All right. You won the game. Congratulations. Well done.
Good job. Oh, let's see. A positive daily dose says 1 year. Ooh, I like this. 1 year equals numerous opportunities. Very inspirational, right?
Yes.
365 actually. Well, 366 in a sleep year.
All right. Wade says all you can eat buffet.
So appropriate for us, right? We love that.
That's
buffet.
Archit as well, Wade.
Oh,
You and Archit have
funny.
something in common.
Nice, Wade. Thank you. Appreciate that. Inspirational. What does that Kirsten say? I didn't eat at McDonald's. Oh, that's a good one, but the fries are so good.
They really are at McDonald's.
I love those
I just can't.
I love it. I love it. Oh. All right, those
All
were
right.
their five-word
My
success story.
success story. What's yours, Archit?
So I didn't make it a sentence. I just put like a letter, and I was thinking like, oh, let me just give you the. So I did P. So I did positive, persistent, passionate, pleasing, and there was one more that I forgot. It was patient. So the 5 P's are my five-word success story. So
wow.
I try to live like that. Hopefully I can come up with the other letters and do that for 2017.
Very nice.
What about you? What about you? 5 words. You had plenty, I think, right earlier.
Yeah, we were discussing this, right? So I have what was mine? It's workout every day and rest.
Okay, good one.
And read a new book. Read a book every day.
Okay, nice.
And eat healthy and sleep peacefully.
Sleep peacefully. Sleep well. Those are all very inspiring.
I can go on and on. This is quite nice.
You're good at this one, right?
All right.
We can keep going. We're going to practice.
We can keep going on about this, but it's time for us to leave you now. We'll be back tomorrow for more on WION Breakfast.
Absolutely.
I'm Charu Shankar.
I'm Archit Tashadi. Don't forget you can tweet us or follow us on Facebook. Take care. Bye-bye.